All right, and welcome to the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neal.
That would make me terrible, Troy.
And we're joined by the fine folks of Slash Squatch. We have writer director Aaron Bratcher.
Hello.
Hello. And Toni Hudson.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Yeah,
It's nice to see you both.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, very nice to be here, man. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So I love the name right away, Slash Squatch,
me too.
Slash Squatch, and the poster art, which I'll talk about later. Which
Well,
I
thank
think
you.
is
Yeah.
fantastic.
So I've been sitting on the title for like 6 years. We made it as we were coming up with just joke names. I was doing like these dude bro comedies that we never actually made, thank God. But one of them we were like Window Bro, and I was like, hey, I need like more jokey horror names. And my buddy was like, how come nobody made a Slash Squatch? And I was like, oh, we got to do that. But then it was always just a joke until finally I was like, I've always wanted to make a big creature feature, about a small community getting destroyed, like Tremors the Blob or something. And it finally occurred to me. I was like, oh, nobody's treated Bigfoot seriously. And I think we could make, like a real monster movie out of, the Bigfoot movie. And so I painted that poster art.
Oh, you did that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's tremendous.
And then, I went in Photoshop and put in more trees and stuff, and it's a
happy little trees,
a little prettier on the actual thing. But yeah. It saved me an exorbitant amount of money. I was like, I need like an 80s hand painted poster, and so
Nice.
like,
exactly.
I'll take October and do that after work every day.
Yeah, but it's eye catching, and like you said, it's got the hand painted feel to it, which people like myself and I think most horror fans are into.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the approach to the entire movie. It's like, how tangible and just like handcrafted can we make everything? Even in the first 5 minutes, which is on the website, in the little trailer, which I sent you guys today, there's a toy car in it, which is it on my desk? No, it's on my shelf. I'll go grab it in a sec. But yeah, there's a toy car that I comped in there and kind of did a forced perspective thing with, and did a bunch of little lighting passes and matched it into the scene. And so the movie's just going to be full of just a plethora of little tricks like that, of just how can we make, this giant, creature feature for, not a lot of money.
Yeah, it looks like it costs a lot of money. It doesn't, looks like it has high production value.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, we recently, yeah, well, thank you. I was like, I just did another Western, and we had like real film lighting and gaffers and things, and it was like, wow, like we did that entire opening with like work lamps and stuff from construction, which is what I was doing at the entire time. So,
well, it comes off good. So, Toni, how did you get involved? How did you know Aaron?
How do I know Aaron? Aaron, I'm going to preface the story, but I'm going to let him tell it because he wrote the part with me in mind. He had known my work from the 80s movies and was a fan of my work and thought, wow, she'd be good to put in a movie. And so, Aaron, I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, so there's this kind of war games. We won't say rip off, but and maybe it's like war games. It's war games. Okay, so there's this war games type movie called Prime Risk, and it's really quite good. What's the guy's name in it? He's in Mutant with.
It's Lee Montgomery.
Lee Montgomery, yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, you and Lee Montgomery, and it's kind of this teens ripping off ATMs movie, and then they get wrapped up in some sort of communist plot. But to know Toni was just tenacious in the movie. It was like the first one of the first female performances I'd ever seen where it was just like, oh, like she's the lead, like she's the resourceful character here, and like he's the damsel throughout the entire movie. And so like, I don't know, and she just carried it with such a likability and just tenacity. I don't know, all sorts of big words. But she was just awesome. And so I was like, this, and then I'd seen her in Texas Chainsaw 3, obviously, and The Uninvited, and all your horror work. And so I knew of Toni Hudson, but yeah, I saw Prime Risk, and I was like, this is somebody I think I could really write something for that that could connect with them, and she could really deliver this character. And so I wrote the character of Dawn with her in mind, and actually I did that for Lynn Lowry and Bill Oberst and all the main characters. I kind of wrote with them in mind, and then
Nice.
sent them the script, and then the opening 5 minutes with their names on the beginning of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What do you think?" And, we're very lucky that everybody liked it.
Yeah. Or
Wow.
else-
So everybody gave you the thumbs up on it?
Yeah, that's
Nice. That's great.
there's a real sincerity with the characters in this one. It's like, I'm often let down with a lot of horror movies just because it's like I just want to care just a little bit.
Yep.
It's still kind of surface level a lot of.
yeah. When something happens to the characters, then it matters.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
or even if they're just likable or quirky or just have
Yeah.
something to them. It's like
Yep.
Trimmers. There's not a person in that movie that doesn't have some sort of memorable quirk or thing about, like, they're all there for a reason. And so that was this movie. It's like I kind of have this ensemble piece cast of thousands destroying an entire small town, but it was like, how can I, like, they all have to mean something. Otherwise, the slashy part doesn't matter.
Yeah. So Tony, did you know Aaron before that then, or was that your first interaction? with him?
No, absolutely
Oh.
not. He reached out to me via social media, and obviously honored. And what's interesting, Aaron, is that you had the balls to do it, because so many people go, oh, they would never respond, or and thinking that they're so busy and what are they going to think. Well, the thing is actors want to work, and people want to be admired for what they can contribute. And so when someone who then shares with me the 5-minute video of what your vision is, I can see you're a filmmaker, Aaron. So I said, well, this guy's a filmmaker. And then the idea, when we had our conversation, of the story you just told, is that you had me in mind for the part, and I get to play an older retired 80s actress / singer chick. I get to sing. I get to do the karaoke. I have the bar. I got the little hardware store.
Nice.
I'm just all over the place. I went up there as a big fish, and now I'm still the older big fish. But it's sweet. It has such humanity for being Squatch. So I really liked it, and I'm honored to be part of it. Truly.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I love how that worked out.
That's
And
great to hear.
do you have a similar story with Lynn and Bill? Like, what was it about them? Like, oh, I think they'll be right for this.
Yeah, Lynn actually, I think, reached out to me. One of my last films, I've actually directed one in between these, but Showdown in Yesteryear, Western, I did.
Yeah.
Deborah Lamb was in that, and so she's friends with Lynn Lowry, but Lynn Lowry really liked it, and so she had reached out to me, and she was kind of interested in the Dawn part when she read the script, but I was like, I kind of wrote that for someone else. But she took the Linda thing, and I think she's going to murder it, or I know she's going to murder it. Actually, she's in the opening 5 minutes, so she's the dispatcher, and so she'll be that character throughout the rest of the movie, and I'm delighted to have her. And then same thing with Bill Oberst. I had kind of edited on a different movie that he was in years ago, and he's another person where it was just, they're watching him, you're like, this is an actor, like there's just they can get a performance out of this person, like, and they're just they want to give it, and he's great in everything I've ever seen him in, like everybody we have here, so it was just like, so I don't know, I just was in love with his performance while editing that other movie, and so in writing what would be this kind of antagonistic character in any other horror movie, but that's not really this way, like she was saying, like everything's treated with such humanity in this movie. In writing this character, I was like, I need somebody who can really just bring this humanity where it's just like, you understand what this man's gone through. And I don't know. So Bill Oberst is the guy. Orca, that's the big, I don't want to give too much away, but the lead performance in Orca, it was like, I need like that kind of, that kind of depth and humanity to somebody where you're like, I understand why this guy did what he did, but like I feel bad for him at the same time, and Bill Oberst is our guy.
Yeah.
So
what's the vibe of Squatch? Because when I hear the title, I'm like, oh, it's like a silly movie, and I'm not saying it's not fun.
Yeah.
But then when I watch your pitch video, you just talk about using real lore of Bigfoot. So I like the contrast there, but what's like going to be the vibe of the movie?
Yeah, I mean, it's like Close Encounters meets Jaws or Tremors. Like, it's just this serious take on, like, let's really explore the mythology and the lore of this thing, and let's really try to do everything we can do with it, you know. And going off the indigenous, in specific Northwest indigenous legends, like they, you know, there's thousands of years of all this like terrifying stuff that just nobody's looked into or decided to use in one of these movies. And every time I watch a Sasquatch horror film, you know, I'm always kind of let down, because it's like, it might as well be a bear. It's just a big, hairy, scary thing, and it picks off our kind of unlikable teenage characters one by one. And, you know, it might as well be a slasher movie. And it's like, I love slasher movies, but they're kind of boring most of the time. It's a bunch of people walking around the woods, Johnny, Tina, and it's like, you know, creature features are where it's at, you know. It's like Jaws, but we'll say Tremors or The Blob 1988. It's like, no, the problem's there from the jump, and you just have to watch your characters try to deal with it. And if you have a likable characters, like an ensemble of characters, like in Jaws or Tremors, or The Blob, you know, it can be really compelling. And if you have a creature that can do, you know, some things, and you're going to see Sasquatch do some things in this movie that nobody else has done, you know, with this. And it's all based off, you know, the real stuff. So
well, I like those three movies. I mean, everyone out there knows Jaws is fantastic, but Tremors, I think, really matches what you're saying with your movie, because I think if you just think of the idea of Tremors, it could be like, oh, this is like a silly movie, but it's treated, you know, real within the movie. And I think that really makes it fun, and you're not just watching this like a silly, you know, throwaway movie.
And the same thing with the other Blob too, you know.
Yeah, and I would say about that, a lot of people are anti-remake, but if it wasn't for remakes, you know, we wouldn't have John Carpenter's a thing. And the Blob 88, I think, is one of the most overlooked remakes. I think that movie is so good.
Yeah, it's incredible. And and just the kind of structure and roller coaster ride of that movie was a huge inspiration to this, where it was like, no, this needs to be tight, but like at the same times, you know, well, it's just very concise. And I was having a point there. Well, you were saying sincerity and horror, was it? No, I don't remember. Well, we were talking about creature features. Tremors.
Tremors.
Yeah, and just it like Tremors. I've always said, like, the characters can be funny, but the horror is not. Death is not funny. And like, I guess it's maybe just something, I don't know. A lot of horror movies now, and a lot of indie horror I see, it's just death is treated with such a just, you know, kind of like, isn't that funny that happened?
It's more about like just to watch someone get killed in a fun way. Not really have any
like
emotional
a neat kill.
It's like driving by a car crash on the freeway.
It's like, that's neat, but like, if we could make that matter a little bit. So I mean, that's kind of the aim, but at the same time, you know, you have a very structured roller coaster of a movie that's like, okay, we, you know, it moves, but it has to, you know, it has to mean something.
Toni, do you believe in Bigfoot and Sasquatch?
I do not know. You know, I
think that's a good answer.
Yep.
I of course it's possible.
Sure.
And the imagination from my childhood, it was always, you know, a character that loomed out there somewhere, somehow, in tales. So it's real in my world in reference to thinking that it's possible, right? Especially with all the photos and the proof and the really fuzzy little guy way out in the distance, you know, out of focus. Why is it that everybody who sees a creature that's really far away gets so nervous that it's out of focus? Right? Why is this common? I mean, they're so far away. It's not like they're going to slash them, right? So yeah, I mean, no, I mean, I think it's possible, but I'm not afraid of it daily. How's that?
Okay. Yeah. That's a good thing. You don't live in fear of it unless you see one, then I would be wary.
Yeah. If it's knocking on your window or something, then be a little cautious, I would think.
I was in a cabin in Montana alone with my two boys who were probably, 4 and 6.
Oh.
And a big mama brown bear came onto the cabin porch and onto the window and was looking in like he was at the human zoo looking at us in there. Yep. And my kids, I had just put them to bed and I got them out of bed and I said, come here. And we're like on the other side of the window with this bear just watching. So,
Yeah,
and then he ran
Hair's
away.
going. Those cubs are kind of cute. I like them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, by the way, Pepe said Orca was crazy. Orca is that's another overlooked movie, I think.
No, I think it's kind of it's kind of beautiful in a weird way. Like, yeah,
It is. It definitely is.
Everything with the main character and his kind of past and the car crash with his family and everything, and just how that's kind of intercut, and then what his relationship is with the whale, and then like when it's screaming at him like on the dock and he's sitting there and he's having flashes of his wife's death and stuff. It's like, no, that was kind of one of the big moments that was just like,
I think people think just like a Jaws Neo knockoff, but it definitely stands on its own, its own movie.
No, people used to be able to take a dumb concept seriously.
Oh yeah.
It used to be able to make like a real movie out of, like, it's the shark movie. Like I always like, if Steven Spielberg hadn't made Jaws or Jurassic Park, it's like those would just be B movies. Those would just be a dinosaur and a shark movie. But that guy took it so seriously. He's like, no, I made the shark movie and the dinosaur movie. Like,
absolutely. Well, some of the best like horror stuff, like I know like King always talks about like Christine being a goofy concept that just kind of like had a life of its own.
Yeah, if you just tell someone
it's haunted car, like okay, whatever, buddy.
No, but and then John Carpenter makes the movie, and it's this really kind of intense movie about relationships and how people change, over sex, basically, and like it's so profound just through a car and like the way the Arnie character changes and his parents. Like, that movie's incredible.
So the first as you mentioned, the first 5 minutes, if people don't know, it's on your website and it looks great. So it'll give you the idea of, how the movie's going to look. And I saw that you that played at Days of the Dead as like in the short category. They played it. That's pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we've been playing a lot of horror festivals lately. Just just trying to show it off wherever we can. Just like, hey, like, my theory was kind of, if we just, if we build it, they will come type thing. Yeah. But it was just, like, I have a take on something here, and hopefully the horror audience will, see what, and kind of,
Yeah. So you haven't, obviously, since you guys are going to film in the fall, so you haven't seen the whole film with people, but were you there at Days of the Dead? So what was it like to watch, those 5 minutes, with an audience there?
Unfortunately, I was not at Days of the Dead, but I was at Chicago Horror Fest and a few of the other ones I played at. Yeah, I wasn't able to make it out to Indianapolis. Well,
then just in general, though, watching with an audience, what's that been like?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I mean, it like, I've had other movies that I've seen with an audience, but this kind of thing, like, I don't know, horror audiences, they want to love something. Like everybody's so in, and like, I find horror itself, just as a genre, it's like you're allowed to be so much more operatic with your filmmaking, and it's expected. It's like, I'm going to see the craziest shit possible, like, and like do it. And so like, just I don't know. So just the tools I get to play with, everything I've ever wanted to do was just like, this is it. This is the movie.
But I would say it's a different experience watching, this. So you have finished movies, watch with an audience, and obviously that's great, and I'm not taking away from that. But I would think this is different because it's not finished. So it's almost like, I hope they're into it, because now I have to go make the rest of the movie. So if they're not into it, like, what do I do now?
Yeah, no, it's,
or if they are into it, then it's like, we have something here.
Yeah, now you're obligated.
Yeah.
No, trying to sell an idea has been it's been a process.
Tony, are you a horror movie fan?
Not really.
Oh. Interview's over. No.
Neal's pulling the plug.
Ironically, my mother used to love horror films, and we would go to the drive-in, and I would be allowed to go up to the playground in front where the movie theater was. But oftentimes there wasn't a playground at this particular drive-in, and I'd be stuck seeing Don't Go Down into the Basement, or these really scary movies for a 7-8-year-old girl. So I've been exposed to them my whole life, and then of course I've been in them. So, but that's art, that's creativity. I'm not opposed to it's just not my genre to absorb and go crazy over. A well-made horror film, scary movie. I like more psychological thrillers than I do blood and guts, in all honesty, to watch. But as an artist and a creative, it's all good. I mean, it's bringing a group of people together and seeing what we can come up with based on a blueprint and an idea, right? A vision that Aaron had and an idea, and then collecting the people, the board of directors, and giving them all their places to do their thing, their specialty, and then watch the magic happen. And that's what's going on. And so whether it's horror or drama or comedy, I'm not opposed. But watching it, not my favorite genre, but on the list somewhere.
Yeah. Those are you mentioned comedy. I think horror and comedy are the two funnest movies to watch with an audience because people are reacting.
Yep.
Yes, of course. Well, and that's only because we're all emotionally bankrupt and are afraid to cry in public.
Right. Well, it's dark, and so you can't really share unless I guess you're openly weeping and making a lot of noise.
Well, I'm saying if there's a drama or there's a heartfelt story about maybe something that happened to a family, we all can relate. We're all human, right? Mm-hmm. But a lot of times when we're in public, no, I'm not. We suck it up, but boy, we'll laugh, and boy, we'll get scared and yell. But so it's interesting that you say that because. Mm-hmm. Why not?
Yeah, that's very true.
Why not have a big group cry?
Right. All right. Well. You said the characters we can relate to them in Squatch, so we can laugh, we can get excited by the kills, and then we can cry.
We can have all this.
It's a bit of an aim, actually. Yeah, it was a bit of a thing early on. I was like, people are going to come at us and be like, "Why the hell did that Bigfoot movie try to make me cry? Like, what was that?" Like, no, it is very much like a character study about. Or an exploration, we'll say. I mean, even though it's an ensemble piece, it's like a lot of these characters have these kind of themes that run through several of them, and you kind of see them explore these things in different ways, or possibly the same way.
Well, you mentioned Jaws. The real heart of Jaws and why that's so memorable are the three guys. Like the shark is cool and all, but it's the three guys that make the movie.
Yeah. Well, even like Orca with Richard Harris, you always remember his character. He's just awesome in it,
Yeah. So all practical effects, I understand.
For the so in the opening, 100%. It's cardboard, and I've always said like the literal and allegorical frayed cardboard edges of this movie is like that's what's gonna make it the special. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there might be a CGI tree to do some simulation stuff. We might have the occasional like. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of compositing work, but it's everything. I'm treating everything as if it was, besides maybe a CGI tree. It's like if they couldn't do it in 1988, it doesn't belong in this movie. And I've always kind of believed that, like, if as starting out, like as a filmmaker right now, if you have a digital camera, like you were at where a kind of small budget movie was at in the 80s with a horror movie, and like, all right, we've got our budget for our cameras, and it's like that's often what they had. And so you watch like Rock and Roll Nightmare or something, it's like that's where you're at. You're at there right now. Like all you got to do is do this stuff. And so, and if you watch a lot of schlock, like you can kind of reverse engineer, like, well, that worked, but that didn't work. Like, well, if we kind of shoot it this way, I think we get that to work. And so like there was good ideas, it was just maybe not pulled off all the time. And so I mean that's kind of the approach here, is if we can treat everything as tangible as possible in that hand painted method. There's literally going to be hand painted matte paintings in the movie and stuff, so it's like
that's cool,
as well as just mountain plate photography. And so with the compositing work, it's like we're shooting a lot of this movie in New York, but it all takes place in Washington State. And we're going to probably shoot a quarter of it out here and a lot of the exterior stuff, but there's going to be tons of scenes. It's like, okay, we have to go out or, shoot it in New York. And then I'm going to have to replace the skyline with a, real mountains from around Seattle that I'll drive up and get, and just kind of pick a day where the sun matches and like, all right, land it in. And so everything's being treated with that tangible quality because when there's like there is artistry to CGI, obviously, but it's at the end of the day, it's a simulation, and our brains can tell that, and you can just feel the weight to it. And even when an effect is bad, or you can see the thumbprints in the clay, you know,
there's a charm to it.
Yeah, it pulls you into the process, and it's like, yeah. So that's kind of the thesis here. But
like you said, your mind knows even if you don't know, if you can't like pinpoint it. Not all audience will pinpoint why it didn't work, but your brain just doesn't process. It's like there's something off here.
Yeah,
the weight's not there.
98% practical.
Sure.
We'll say.
Yeah. Nice. So I saw that you played at a Bigfoot festival.
Yeah, well, we actually, we just had a booth, and we were selling merchandise at a Oregon Bigfoot Festival here in Portland, Oregon.
Nice. I like that. I think it's like thinking out of the box. You know,
we've done that. We went to not Days of the Dead. We went to Living Dead weekend at the Monroeville Mall where they shot Dawn of the Dead. Oh, nice. We were there this year. We had a booth, and we were just trying to spread the word. So we've been doing anything we can just to let the horror audience know, like, this exists, and we're treating it more seriously than anybody's ever done before. Yeah. Like,
my friend Lawrence Da Vinci is one of the guys who runs that con at the Monroeville Mall. Have you ever been to the Monroeville Mall before?
Me, no. It was kind of a dream. That was like that was our first stop on like the horror convention tour thing. Yeah, it was like, all right, if we could start there. I was like, I've always just wanted to go. So yeah, no, it was kind of a dream. And honestly, I think that was my first horror convention I'd ever actually been to. And
That's
lifelong horror fan. I've grown up with
that. Must have set the bar pretty high, though, I would think.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. Yeah, just hanging out with heroes and things. Yeah. And, like, I'm right across from Head Hole Zombie that Ken Foree shoots, and she's the sweetest lady ever. I love her. And no, it was great.
So, Tony, I do have one non-slash Squatch question, and what was Ari Mihailov like in Leatherface? Because he is the man who named me Nasty Neal, so I have to ask.
Oh, is he?
Yes. Before that, I was just Neal. That's very boring, but he gave me the name Nasty Neal.
Well, ironically enough, when he and I were working together, he was chasing me in the woods with a chainsaw.
Right.
And he had a mask
on set, so people know. Not I assume on set.
Well, you never know. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, on set. So he had a mask on. Right. It's dark. We didn't really talk outside of work, because it was late at night. They're trying to get these shots, time frames. And so we kind of rushed through all that. And I didn't really get to talk to him or know him until later. And now we've gone to these conventions and we sign autographs and we'll sit next to each other, or we do our lunch break together, or I go to dinner with his crew afterwards and hang out. So I've gotten to know him what a sweetheart of a man.
Yeah, he looks intimidating, big, girly man, but he's a definitely big teddy bear.
I think I come up to his chest.
Yeah.
When I stand next to him. And lovely, lovely man, and just really fun, and just, present, and just a great guy. And he's, really cool. Yeah.
Speaking of the going to the conventions, what was that experience like for you when you first started going to conventions? Was it something like you ever thought you would do, or did you know people love the movie until you started going to conventions?
Yeah, well, I don't do them a lot, and when I first did it, to answer your question, it was a cool experience, because you see the people that you have no idea has even seen your movie that you've been in.
Right.
And how it affected them. Or it was, we went on our first date and saw that movie and you were in it, and oh my God, I'm standing here right now talking to you. I mean, those moments you just don't imagine that when you're making the movie and trying to get your paycheck and pay your rent, make sure your car's running so you can go to the next audition. You're not thinking, wow, this movie is going to affect people who go see it, sit at home, watch it, and relate to it in some way, shape, or form, whatever, the movie is. So it's cool. It's cool to meet the people that you're making the movies for.
Yeah. Aaron, I found it interesting your background in movie making, that you like learned to make films, or at least you learned the camera work and stuff when you were in the service. And so, did you, if you want to speak on that, and also, had you wanted to become a filmmaker before that?
Oh yeah, no. So that's not really where I started.
Okay.
I watched Jaws at 3 years old, and that was when I knew it was just like, that's it. And so I tried to make Jaws every day until I was probably 5, and I still am trying to make Jaws. That's what we're here talking about. So yeah, this Squatch is honestly a lifelong dream. Like, I've been working towards this every step of the way. But I started then. Always tried to make movies. When I was around 8 years old, my dad owned a DJ company, and I started filming weddings for him. And so I kind of ran a little portion of that company and like filmed and edited all the videos and everything. And so I did that until I was 18, and then I joined the Army as a combat videographer or combat documentation production specialist. And so I did that for 6 years, just filming like a wide array of military operations, and made my first movie while I was in the service, which I think I'm the first person to have ever done that, maybe. So I don't know what that is, but and then I got out, and here we are. So it's just been stepping stone, but it's a lifelong obsession, we'll say. It's
anybody you were in the service with watch your films? You send them to them, or
they're in them?
Okay.
I'm still working with the same 6 dudes. Yeah, it's a lot of the same guys from the military that were working on my stuff then. And like the first movie I did, it was, we were this company of videographers and stuff, and it was like I kind of found a group of equally, or passionate guys about the craft, who also maybe weren't so crazy about the Army, and we kind of made it work for us. And a lot of those same guys are still around working on all these things. So
Pepe has a question, I guess, about Jaws. He wants to know, was Jaws technically a holiday movie because it's kind of centered on 4th of July?
I'd say 100%. I watch it every year on July 4th, or around, at least. This year I got a little early. It was around July 1st, I think. But normally I try to watch it on July 4th.
And have you played the pinball machine, Jaws?
No, I have.
Fantastic.
It's great,
It's so good.
Yeah,
it's like our new obsession. Neal and I have played it a bunch of times.
Yeah,
I gotta find one.
Yeah, so when if you know anything about pinball, like if it goes down the chute right away and they give you a second chance, and so pops up, it's like Hoopa, ain't you even looking?
And it's great. They have so many quotes. It's just brilliant.
Awesome.
And by the way, if people don't know, I live near where they shot Jaws. I'm on Cape Cod, so I'm near the islands, and every 4th of July they show Jaws quite a bit around here.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's a big ordeal here for Jaws. So we showed the poster earlier. Can people buy that? Buy the poster or merchandise?
Yes. So there is merchandise on the website, like the hat I'm wearing and some shirts and stuff. The actual poster, the hand painted one and everything, it is available, but it's in a premium package, and there's kind of a list of those on the website. And these are available till August 31st, I believe, at midnight, because then we start shooting September 1st. So but if you buy one of these premium packages, you're entered, and depending on the package you get it's kind of a sweepstakes to get killed by Sasquatch in the movie. So there's chances to get killed by Bigfoot in the movie if you buy the premium packages, and it also comes with one of a kind merch. So I think the second tier's got a poster in it, and it's signed by the entire, or might be the third, but it's signed by the entire cast and crew. And there's also DVDs that will be available on there, which will come out when the movie's done, October 2025. But we're, at least at this moment, we're thinking about doing a nationwide theatrical roadshow tour for a whole year, hopefully. So it's it will be unavailable, physically or streaming for, a year, unless you kind of buy this.
I love this.
I'm loving this.
Yeah, that led to my next, because I was going to ask, like, what are the plans with it? Because, some people, try to get distribution. Some people go to festivals with hopes to get distribution. So you're going to do like a road tour.
Yeah, I've got movies out and they're on streaming and I've never seen a dime for anything. And it's like, okay, I don't know. I've talked to so many levels of people in this industry at this point, and it's like it kind of seems like nobody has any idea what's going on. And it was like, okay, we know one thing works. It's like theatrical distribution, and so I don't know. I go to Hollywood Theater here in Portland. It's this revival house that plays movies on 35, 70 millimeter. Tarantino shows up to it every once in a while to screen some stuff. So I watch, Life Force in 70 millimeter there. Jaws was playing last week, and I think 35, might have been 70. I don't know. Didn't get a chance to go, but every time I go to a horror movie at a revival house, we have like 5 in Portland. 200 to 400, it's packed every time. It's like,
that's great.
There's such a hungry audience for this, and I think the theatrical distribution of it, especially with horror, like what you were saying earlier, it's like with horror and comedy, the crowd interaction is such a thing, and when an audience is having fun, you can have so much more fun with the movie. I just saw Gummo there for the first time. I went.
Nice. That's a very weird movie.
Yeah, I worked with Jacob Reynolds. I just did another movie with him, the little bathtub spaghetti. Yeah. So I just worked with him in another movie, and I put him in a bathtub, made him eat spaghetti. But seeing that with an audience, it was just like it put me in the perfect mindset because I didn't know what to expect walking into it, and then it was just like, oh, I get it. Like this is like. People are just so hungry for this, and when you see it with a crowd like that, it's so important. So it's not just the movie. Like we'll probably put out a documentary with the movie that'll play before it.
Nice.
And there's like bands and stuff in the movie, so we're hoping to get some like hair metal,
like an event.
That sounds so good. Yeah,
so and kind of do different size shows. We might be able to do some larger theaters with like a band and stuff. And so we're trying to just anything I can do to make it resonate in your mind. Like because I feel movies now, and this might just be me, but like I watch stuff on streaming and it just disappears. And it's like, okay, there's one, it's maybe how movies being made now, with all the CGI and all that, but also just the way they're shot. They're shot a lot more like television. And so it may be just to our brains, it's a little more disposable. I don't know what it is, or just watching it on your phone. I don't know what, but if I can get this in front of you in a theater, and if I can just get a crowd out there, like I feel like, it'll stick around hopefully.
Well, I think that's a great idea for a couple of things. Like I said, so I go to the actual movies every weekend up in Boston. And besides like the big giant movies, the ones that people come out for are horror movies, even small, weird horror movies. And there's a couple theaters I go to in Boston that, like you said, they show old stuff on 35 millimeter on the weekends. Coolidge after midnight, which is a Friday and Saturdays, they show midnight movies, and it's always something weird. And so I like that. And sometimes it's newer stuff too. So I like this idea. And I think, like you said, it brings people out. Sometimes I see the same people. So it's got a community feel. And if you're going around to different places, I think all the different cities probably have like a community like that.
Oh, there has to be. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I know there's community in Boston, like you said, in Portland, and probably all around all the different, areas. You just got to find them.
Yep. No, I went to Chicago to the festival there, and it was like, all right, it's everywhere. Like everywhere's got one. Like we just have to, And then, it's just the marketing too. So we're really working hard on the social media of it and trying to spread the word. And like, I mean, by the time we're shooting, so as we're shooting, we're going to keep doing the festivals. So we'll be at, I think our next confirmed one is Monster Mania in Philadelphia. So, and we might try to unveil the actual Sasquatch suit there. We have this kind of marketing thing we run around with.
I love that,
t-shirt, and it says SlashSquatchMovie.com. It looks silly. We have that kind of thing running around, but like, I promise that's not what it's going to look like in the movie. It's like, it's pretty scary looking, and it's a lot different than anything we've seen before in one of these movies.
Oh, sweet.
But that's the sorry, I forgot where I was
going. Have we cleared a song? Aaron, have we cleared a song for me yet?
We wrote one.
An original song.
And we're getting it recorded, so we will have something for you. we're still working on the scheduling and everything. So in the next week, I will have more information.
Okay.
I don't want to say too much.
Well, that's very exciting, Tony.
Yeah.
You can have your original song for you.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, we tried to get a bunch of hair metal and stuff in the movie, and it's been a struggle, but we got a few very promising leads that I can't say too much about.
Yeah.
But
You have to find people that love Sasquatches.
yeah,
You know, then they'll be like, hell yeah, I want to be in this. So, yeah. But maybe Tony, maybe I don't want to put you on the spot, but maybe at one of the road tours you could do a live performance of your song.
Oh, heck yeah.
oh yeah. Oh, it's kind of like the show-stopping piece of the movie. It's like once that you hit that point in the movie, it's like it's tipped into, yeah. Not to say too much, but yeah, that it should be pretty memorable, that bit of the movie, and very excited.
No, I love this. And so
Yeah,
the
I'm totally
website
geeked
is
for this.
/squatchmovie.com, and I'll link that all over the website and everything so people can check that out. And I know 2 theaters that would be perfect. Like I said, Coolidge Corner Theater in Brookline, and the Brattle Theater in Cambridge, Massachusetts. So, and like I said, there's probably all kinds of theaters around in different areas that would be.
I
good
know
spots.
at least like 2 in like Providence, Rhode Island. That would be perfect for that.
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm sure you'll find someplace everywhere. You know.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of the plan. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And where can people?
I know Neal and I'll be there when you come around.
Yeah,
this way.
not just because you're here.
Yep.
You're not just saying that to be nice. We actually want to see this.
Yeah.
So where can people follow /Squatch to see where it's updates?
You can follow us on Facebook. I think it's just /Squatch. I mean, it should just be /Squatch Movie on everything. Instagram, it's /Squatch Movie with underscores in between, and then I think we're on TikTok. It's just /Squatch Movie. The website /squatchmovie.com. And that's what I was going to say before I lost my train of thought 2 conversations ago. While we're shooting the movie, we will be putting out content during it. So we will go to Monster Mania, but as well as we should have like every 2 weeks, like a bi-monthly update video, just showing the behind the scenes in a very extensive way. So yeah, every step of the way, we're trying to keep people up on it and really just kind of show off this process in a way that I feel has been done before. And as well with the distribution, it was just like, let's like, screw it, man, it's /Squatch, like let's go all out, like
absolutely, why not?
Yeah, the name's out there, and I'm that's good advice. I know it seems like simple things, but sometimes we'll have a guest on and like, you go find me on Instagram and it's some name that I'll never remember and has nothing to do with them or their movie, and it's named after like a childhood friend in middle school, and that's cool and all, but it's very hard to find.
Yeah, with the smiley face in between the 2 names. Okay, I'll try to find it.
Yeah.
You just look up /Squatch anywhere, you should be able to find it. There's also a guy who just plays guitar. He kind of dresses up like Slash from Guns N' Roses and plays guitar.
That was in my mind.
There's no space between Slash and Squatch, so that's that's the differential.
Right. Maybe you can get him to do a song. I don't know.
We thought I'm open. We might reach out to him. Well, that's the other thing too. We used just to finish up on the theatrical experience thing. It's like people used to put so much into releasing a movie, not only just the movie, but you got albums and music videos and
novelizations,
novelizations. And it's just like, it's a lost art form, especially I'm obsessed with horror music or just music videos with movie tie-ins. So whatever that means, but there's like a lot of Michael Bay ones or so anyhow, but like, yeah, that there's something to that, and it's just like you remember a movie, it sticks around to you. Every time you hear that song, you think about it, and so it's just like, I don't know. There seems to be a real lack of just like, no, like go for it, man. Like let's just, it's well, maybe we never had a product marketable enough, but yeah, there's /Squatch seems pretty, it seems pretty clear what it is. So.
Well, I'm glad to see Tony's excited about doing this, and Aaron's very into it, which I think, probably adds to your excitement. Like this is something that's going to get made and going to be a fun and memorable for everybody.
Well, yeah, he's going to make this movie no matter what. So someone who's determined like that you want to be a part of that train. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And he's a young guy. So this is not going to be his only movie, even though this is, as he says, his pinnacle so far of what he's wanted to make. But a guy like you, once you're done with this and have experienced what that product does and affects people, you're going to want to do it again, dude. And you're going to do it again and again and again. So hire me.
Oh, yeah. No, I've already got like 3 more lined up. So
Nice.
yeah, it's busy these days, but yeah, well,
No, it's really encouraging to see his enthusiasm, because there's a lot of people who second guess themselves and hem and haw and say why it won't work and why it'll take 2 years, and he's just the opposite of that. And so yeah, it's infectious.
Yeah, lots of people have cool ideas, but it
Mm.
seems like a simplistic thing to say. But if you don't ever do it, it's it's just an
Yep.
idea.
Yeah, we think alike. I'm the same thing. I do things.
Yep, that's great.
And where can people follow you, Tony, if you want them to follow you on social media?
If they don't have a chainsaw chasing you through the woods.
No, I'm very, very active on social media. Someone already had my name, Toni Hudson, on Instagram when I joined. So my handle is Toni Hudson 9, the number 9.
Okay.
Because my birthday's on the 9th. My life path number is a 9. So, yeah, Toni Hudson 9 on Instagram, and Toni Hudson on Facebook and TikTok, Toni Hudson. Just Toni Hudson. ToniHudson.com is my website. And then I have books and movies that I produce, and I've got all sorts of things going on. So yeah, Tinder Love, this is my latest book.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, excellent.
What can people what is the book about?
It's a collection of Tinder dates. There's 14 short stories and a black and white photo with each story. And they're based on real experiences. Aaron, have you read the book yet?
no, I have not, Tony. I'm sorry.
No, it's basically erotica, but I call it romantica because it's like slash Squatch is human, even though this is erotica, but it's very human and romantic. So, but it's just short stories, 14 dates. You know how people will say, "Oh, that's Stan the Man," right? Well, I have one date in here called Stan Not Quite the Man.
Oh,
Interesting. All right.
She goes home alone.
All right, very cool. And you said those were based off real dates?
Oh yeah, no, these are real dates, real people, but some of the names have been changed to protect the not so innocent. And no, I think it's a really great conversation piece for couples. And it's very empowering for women, I think, to own their sensuality, because a lot of times, not to get too serious, but we grow up and we become victim of some sort of sexual something as a kid. And so a lot of times we get messed up in the head. And I think learning who we are, it was part of my process. It was really beautiful.
Yeah, excellent. So I do want to show something. Annabelle, our third co-host, she couldn't be here tonight, but this came up on the show before. This was months ago, before we heard of Slash Squatch. And she drew up, I don't know why it even came up the show, but it was Ass Squatch. I think it might have actually been an idea for erotica. So it's kind of a combination of all these things. And
well,
then
this
she
is how
drew,
you blend the two, right?
and so she drew the picture.
Damn. The little exclamation point.
Oh, I love it.
Reflection, and how shiny that ass is. That's hilarious.
That is too funny. You should put that on the back of the Slash Squatch.
Yeah.
So this
That's
was
a great drawing.
Yeah, it was great.
I
So I
love
want to
that one.
hear it. So, this has been great, and we should have everyone back on when the movie's out. That would be fun.
Oh
to
yeah,
do.
hell yeah.
Yeah,
Unless you're
absolutely.
sick of us, so it'd be a good time.
No, absolutely. Yeah. 100%. Thank you so much for having us on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
thanks
you
for
guys for
coming.
doing
Yeah,
it.
thank you guys. Appreciate being a part of it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna play. It's only 35 seconds. I'm gonna play the teaser for everyone for Slash Squatch, and I'll let you guys go, and we'll be back and talk about some nonsense, and then so we'll see you guys later.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you
Thanks
guys.
again,
Thanks.
guys.
Bye.
Peace
Bye,
out.
Tony.
Bye.
Bye, Aaron.
See you,
Thank you, guys.
Neal, Troy. Bye, Aaron.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Tony.
What the shit?
All right, there we go. Oh, I didn't take Aaron out, but Aaron's still here. Yeah. I think Troy thought maybe we were leaving, but yeah. But I'll let you go.
I'll take off now. Peace out.
All right. See you guys.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Have a good one.
Yeah. Whoops. Bye. All right. So Troy, are you there? I don't know what's going on with Troy there, but I did want to bring up very sad news. Well, first of all, Squatch, very fun. I really want to see this. They sold me on the movie. The first 5 minutes looks great. Everything he said there. And people know who listen to the show. A lot of stuff is stuff I talk about on the show normally. So that was cool. But sad news is Shelley Duvall passed away. And I never mentioned on the show, but we were going to have her on to talk about her new movie. She came out of retirement, made a movie. And so very sad. Her birthday was just a few days ago, I believe. And 75, I believe she was, passed away. Rest in peace, Shelley Duvall. Lots of, a lot of people bring up The Shining, but a lot of great movies. I know Troy brought up to his favorite, Popeye, which at the time was not a beloved movie, but it's really found its audience, which is great. Troyo was always a big fan. I believe he brought up another movie. I forget, it was on Facebook. But anyway, Shelley Duvall has passed away. So rest in peace, Shelley Duvall. Pepe Petit, that was fun. Well, thank you very much. Coast. He's a good man. Johnny Cakes here in the chat. We got some good folks here. So did want to bring up. Let's see here. Let me grab it. Oh, by the way, a little bit later, before we close out the show, I am going to announce the next 5 severed limbs selections. But let's see here. Mutilator 2. We had Buddy Cooper on the show not that long ago. We had him on years ago. We had him back, talked about Mutilator 2. It is going to make its premiere at Frightfest in London. That's very, very exciting. Special Needs Revolt with our buddy Bill Whedon, made by Adrian Esposito with actual handicapped actors. They got the new poster. I really love it. So follow Adrian Esposito on Facebook to see when Special Needs Revolt will be playing. Oh, we'll get that 2 minutes. Sorry. Let's see here. Look at this. This is creepy as hell. So this weekend, I'm going to go see this. The Vourdalak. It's playing at the Brattle Theater, which I'd mentioned earlier about playing some cool stuff. And it's a weird, I assume weird, I haven't seen it yet, French vampire film. And that guy is creepy. I'm scared. And I'm into this. Looks kind of Nosferatu-esque. Look at that guy, Troy. You with me?
I'm with you, Chief.
Look at that dude.
That is one spooky bastard right there. Is that French vampire movie?
Yes. I'm going to go see it Saturday. I'm scared.
Yes, that one looks way cool to me. Even that guy's like pancake makeup looks scary in that movie.
Yeah, exactly. And Troy's not making fun of it. It's made to look like from the French days.
Yep. Actually, that movie looks real good to me.
Yeah. I'm really excited to go see it. So Longlegs opens this weekend. I've already seen it. So I do think if I didn't hear so much hype, people saying it's the scariest film in decades, I really wish people would stop saying this about every horror movie that comes out. Maybe I would have liked it better, but I don't dislike the movie. I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but for one thing, I don't think it's scary really at all. Maybe a little spooky or maybe more creepy, I think is probably a better term for it. But when I was watching it, really felt like I was watching like the new season of True Detective. And I like True Detective,
really?
but it feels very much like that. It's about two detectives searching for a serial killer. So it doesn't really feel very new to me. And I thought the main character, she really feels like it's a cross between Will Graham and Clarice.
Oh, okay.
Where she can, she's a detective, but she can see stuff like Will Graham. And then she has like
kind of pieces things together. Like
and she's got the past trauma. Like she's very much like you combine Clarice and Will Graham to me.
And what's the other guy just along for the ride? The other detective?
Yeah, he's the older guy, and I don't know. It seemed very something like I've seen. It doesn't seem that original to me. And so the serial killer is I guess you could say he's original. The Longlegs character played by Nicolas Cage. You don't see a lot of him. I was not a huge fan, honestly.
Oh, okay.
But people should check it out for themselves because I know a lot of people really have loved it. So.
Okay.
I saw it at a press screening at the AMC in Boston, and I'm sure I was the only horror guy in this group. So it was about 10 of us.
Really?
And all of them were very, honestly, kind of stuck up. Like I had my horror stuff on. I tried to talk to them afterwards. They all knew each other by name, and they just kind of like
they blew you off. They're like, oh, this guy.
There. And so beforehand, the one dude was telling the younger girl. So it's an older guy telling the younger girl first. He's like, "Oh, you know who Osgood Perkins is? Don't you know who his dad is?" And she's like, "No." He's like, "Oh, it's Anthony Perkins from Psycho, and this is his debut film, first time director." I'm like, "No, it's not. It's like his fourth or fifth movie." And then he just kept saying it. And I wanted to butt in and be like, "No, this is not." Because he just kept saying it.
Should have been like, "You want a bad chief," you know?
It's not even his first movie. It's played at theaters. Never mind his first movie. So that was very annoying. And then there was him and this other old dude. They kept, before and after, they just kept talking about Green Acres.
What a strange, like, was there any reference in the movie
about
No. Acres? All right.
This is exactly how the conversation started. The one guy asked the other guy, "What show are you up to?" Because he's watching I don't know if he said every show, but he's going through the G's right now. He's up to G. And he's been watching, I guess he started A, and he's watching every episode of Green Acres. This is not fabricated at all. And I was just like, now you couldn't just watch every show that's ever existed, I don't think, but
I would hope not, like, because there's a lot of, like, just think of Gilligan's Island. Didn't that last like 3 or 4 seasons?
Yeah, so I looked up Green Acres and there was like 170 episodes.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what a friggin' waste of time. You're going to watch every episode of Green Acres? And he didn't even seem to like it.
Well, that's good. You better stick with it because I'm sure it'll get better.
I was like, you're going to watch 160 or 170 episodes of this, like, I mean, it's fine. Even back in the day, actually, when I used to watch Nick at Night, and I love Nick at Night. That was one show. I liked the opening theme, like everybody.
Oh, they got a great theme. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd be like, this isn't very good.
No.
I don't need to watch. And that was back when there was 8 channels, or you know. Now with there's like 1,000 shows that I haven't watched, I'd like to watch, and all this stuff, all these movies, the internet. I'm gonna sit and watch every episode of Green Acres.
Yeah, unless you're like completely bored in your life and you have so much free time you don't know what to do with, then maybe. I still wouldn't suggest Green Acres, but okay.
Then he started singing the full song, and he started acting like he was like this genius because he knew the words. I'm like, everyone knows the words to the Green Acres theme song. I've watched maybe 5 episodes.
Yep. I think if you're, over 30 years old, you probably know the theme to Green Acres.
Right. That's like knowing the theme to, I don't know.
Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, Gilligan's Island, or The Facts of Life or something. Yeah. It's not that impressive.
No.
So anyway, that annoyed me too. But then they didn't like it, so that it did make me think maybe I should like this movie. I don't want to agree with these idiots.
These pompous asses,
Yeah,
like
I'm gonna
all
change my
hated it.
opinion. Go see
Yep.
Longlegs.
Be like, I love this movie, and it wasn't that guy's first movie, dumbass.
Yeah. He made Gretel and Hansel, which I really like. So I would give it a second chance, though. Because I do
Okay.
think I went in with a lot of like thinking, oh wow, this is gonna be great. People tell me it's the scariest movie of decades, and
Oh, maybe next week you can give it another shot, like, because I would like to see it.
all right, yeah.
You could go and give it a shot.
MaXXXine, I loved. I think it's the best of the trilogy.
I've never seen the first one. I didn't make it through the second one.
I'm not a big fan of Pearl. The end's very good of Pearl.
Okay.
So different than X. I'm not even a huge fan of X, to be honest. I know some people think it's blasphemy, but I liked it. I like X and MaXXXine the best by far for me. I'm not a big fan of Pearl.
Okay.
And you really do need to watch them, and that's not it's order they were made.
Mm-hmm.
It's not chronological order.
That way.
Yeah. Matt, I don't think you need to see the other ones to watch MaXXXine either.
Oh, okay.
You'll get little things, but I think it stands alone on its own movie. It's also a genre. It's trying to be a genre movie I like.
Mm-hmm.
It's not usually when they do 80s stuff. They're either really glamour. They're like all the neon colors and the big hair, that kind of thing, or they're like an 80s slasher. And this isn't either of those. This is like a grimy 80s like Vice Squad.
Oh, okay.
But still, it's a horror movie. But it's some people argue it's not horror. I don't really like to get in that argument. But it's that kind of 80s movie that I do like, and you don't really see you don't see people like reminiscing about as much. But I dug it a lot. I really liked it a lot. But the movie I saw, and it's not a horror movie, that I thought was the best movie I actually saw this weekend was Kill. Indian movie, just nonstop killing, but kind of like what they're saying about Squatch. You actually care about all the characters, the villains and the heroes, because there's about two families. The one family's robbing a train, and so you even get to know all those guys. So I thought it was
that's
really
unusual. Yeah, very rarely do you get to know like the supposed bad guy.
Yeah, and not even just like the leader, like even just kind of the henchmen guys and stuff. It was really well made, and it was one of the coolest experiences ever in the theater, because the crowd just was cheering like uproariously at a lot of the revenge kills. Yeah, because they progressively got crazier and more violent. This is one of the most violent movies I've ever seen.
Wow. All right, I'm definitely intrigued by that one.
Yeah. I don't know if I was gonna say probably because it's not a horror movie. It's an Indian film from India, so it probably kind of flies under the radar. Like if it was a straight up horror movie, they'd probably be like, you got to cut out some of the score.
Well, the last Indian flick you recommended to me was that what was it? R.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I thought that was so good.
Yeah, that's one of the best movies. This one is much shorter than any Indian movie I've ever seen. It's an hour and 40 minutes. But I think that's wise for like a movie that's really nonstop action.
Yeah.
And no dance number. No song and dance number.
Well, that's unusual.
But it was really good. Great movie. I've really fallen in love with Indian cinema.
That's so cool. I love just finding out about things. Kind of like when we started watching a lot of like Korean stuff, and it was just like, wow, this stuff's great. Like, it was just flying under the radar before, and then once I discovered it, now I can't get enough of it. I just want more and more.
So there's another one I'm going to see this weekend too. Another Indian movie. Let me grab the name of it. Here we go. It's it looks like it's like the Indian Dune, I think. Kalki 2898 AD. I didn't really even look up what it's about because I'm gonna go in blind. I think
Sometimes that's so much fun going in like that.
I was gonna see it the last 2 weeks, but it was considered a special event, so it wasn't covered by my AMC club. But
And
I
now it
guess
is.
yeah. So I'm gonna go see it this weekend.
Oh wow, yeah, it definitely does have that Dune vibe to it.
Yeah. So I'm
Maybe a little
excited to see it.
Mad Max too, with that vehicle on the bottom
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that might be a definite worth watching.
Vic Schiavone was watching Green Acres the other night. It was the one about the chicken that laid square eggs. Did you go on to watch every episode ever made then?
He's into, the G. Well, no, he started with the Z's. He's working his way up.
Right. The puffy shirt made it look creepier. I wonder what he mean. What's that? Is that
Was that in that poster?
yeah. Oh yeah, it must have been the French horror, the French
okay.
movie. That one's playing at the Brattle for
Nice.
people in the area, and if you're not in the area, I can't help you.
Look around, you might find it.
Exactly. But if you're in LA this Saturday, is the Nightmare on Elm Street double feature at the Gardena Cinema, presented by Nostalgic Nebula. And so they're showing part 4 and 5. I'm sorry, part 4 and 5. And last week's guest will be there live. So that's very cool. Go check that out.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, they're going to show the movie. They're taking an intermission, doing like photos and autographs, and then showing the second movie.
Perfect.
I think that sounds like a good time.
I think it does too.
All right. So now, Troy, we have to do something.
What are we doing?
We are going to go over the next 5 films that are officially selected at Severed Limb 17.
Nice.
Coming up in a month, presented by Big Fantasy Film Fest in Buffalo.
Ooh.
That's not the name of it. It's Fantastic Film Fest, I believe. I'm so bad. I should have. Don't yell at me, Greg. You're a good man. Amazing Fantasy Fest.
Okay.
And I'm really excited. I'm honestly excited about Amazing Fantasy Film Fest. Greg Lamberson, multiple-time guest on the show, good friend of the show, and a good friend of mine, I think. Why not? We'll call him that. No, he is a good guy. And he is sponsoring, it is sponsoring this year at Severed Limbs. So you still have time to send in your film to Severed Limbs for free, and also go over and send your films into Amazing Fantasy Fest.
Nice.
So while I'll get these ready, Troy, to talk about.
All right.
I'm going to play the final version of the Arbor Day teaser.
Nice. So did you have 3 films for this weekend?
2, because that movie I just showed you is like 3.5 hours. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I think it's this weekend. I think it's the 13th. I think the Fathom events. I think they have Princess Mononoke starting the 13th.
Oh,
I don't know if you've ever seen it on the big screen. It's great on the big screen. So good.
I think they were showing some other
Ghibli thing.
Yeah, no. Let me look quick.
Okay.
It was an older movie. It was like the 35th anniversary or something.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they always have so many different things going on, I think.
Yeah. Fly Me to the Moon's opening this weekend, but I will not go see that, I don't believe. But Longlegs, I would recommend people check that out for their own. A Quiet Place, day 1. Troy and I really both really liked it.
Yeah.
For the horror. Oh, there it is. The Lion King 30th anniversry. Definitely not horror.
But... Oh, wow. Yep. That's always a great one to see on the big screen, too.
Yeah. MaXXXine, people should go check that out. There's multiple Indian films which make me happy. Kinds of Kindness, not necessarily horror, but very strange. I would recommend that.
Okay.
Kill, a highly recommended, just insane film. So a lot of good stuff there. Kalki, the movie I'm going to go see. Should I read the synopsis?
Sure.
In a future ruled by elites who revel in absolute luxury while leaving the rest of the world in darkness, a warrior must rise to protect the one who will bring a new tomorrow in this action-packed science fiction epic.
Nice.
It doesn't tell me too much about it. Oh, here it says
Oh,
it's
that's
2
pretty
hours.
cool. Okay.
Not insanely long. Oh yeah, Princess Mononoke. It's playing at one time, 3:00. So I don't know.
Okay.
I think that's what
Does it
time
say
the
if
French
it's
movie.
subbed or dubbed? Does it tell you? Because usually they split it up where one day it's subbed and the next day it's dubbed.
Japanese spoken with English subtitles.
Oh, that's the way to do it if you get a chance to.
All right, so we're gonna play the trailer for Arbor Day,
Nice.
and the official Indiegogo is not up yet. Well, it's up there, but you can't donate yet. But what you can do is you go there. It's on under pre-launch. You just go here withoutyourhead.com/Arbor Day, and you can put in your email address, and you'll get updates when it launches.
Nice. All right.
So I'm going to slowly tell people every week about some different fun stuff you can get before we actually launch a campaign.
Oh, I love it. That's a great idea.
Yeah. So one thing I will tell people, one of the things is the Arbor Day patch. It's like I ain't afraid of no trees patch. That is one of the coolest things you can get.
I love that.
All right, here we go. And then when we come back, we'll let everyone know the next 5 selections for Severed Limbs. Things you've read, the things you've learned, the things you know about Arbor Day lies.
Trees. Why did it have to be trees?
Steve, I need you to promise me no sap of an innocent tree will be spilled.
That has to be the dumbest thing I have heard in my entire life.
Beware the trees of Arbor Day! Hell yeah. Very exciting.
I'm all geeked about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Hope people are into this. Bam. What's this? Watching every show sounds like something they'd make you do in hell. What is he talking about? Is that what he's talking about? Listening to Without Your Head?
No, I think that must be Green Acres is the place.
Please to be. More people know about the Facts of Life theme post Molly Greenwald than pre Molly.
Oh, I don't even know who that is, but
you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the Facts of Life. The Facts of Life. When the world never seems
to be living up to your dream.
That's
the time is right to learn the facts of life.
Hell yeah. So the other week we gave the first 5.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
now that's you mended these, Euripides.
Euripides, hey, you mended these.
Oh, I never did look. I wanted to get the tall guy from to see if he could come on the show because he was in 31.
Oh, okay, yeah. Freddie Boom
Mike,
Boom Washington.
Yeah, it's my goal now to get someone from to interview someone from Welcome Back, Kotter.
Now you'll take Travolta if you got to, but
right, yeah. I guess he's been in some horror movies too.
He's been in some movies, yeah.
All right. So, but he's no Boom Boom Washington.
No. Who is?
So the first up, number 6, is The Widower. Now look at that poster.
I am loving the poster.
That is rocking.
That's just awesome looking.
Yeah.
That guy looks a little bit like Giancarlo, too.
I thought the same thing. It was really
Oh.
cool in MaXXXine, by the way. Oh, by the way, MaXXXine,
Ooh.
our buddy Larry Fessenden pops up.
All right, now I might have to go see it just because, Giancarlo and Larry Fessenden, that's pretty bitchin'.
And Kevin Bacon actually is very fun.
Whoa.
An aging serial killer, a youth tied up in a cellar, a hint at a larger society of killers. We soon get to see what makes the widower tick and what drives him to do what he does. Made on a budget of just £15, The Widower is the new micro-budget production from Slumberjack Entertainment.
Oh, that's crazy. Like, and it's a short, huh? Like,
yep.
Sounds like they're cramming a lot into like a short.
Yeah.
Definitely
so it says it's a segment from a production anthology movie, The Micro Killers. 15 short films, all shot on a micro budget of £200 or less.
Wow.
With some of the UK's leading names in indie horror. So that's very exciting. And thank you for sending that in.
That's crazy cool. I'm looking forward to that.
And by the way, all these will be free to watch. It's free to submit, free to watch. Filmmakers, fans alike will all be in a, it'll be on Twitch, and we'll all get together because sometimes YouTube will say, hey, that's some naughty stuff there. And I already have seen there is some naughty stuff in some of these. So
all right.
It's it's R-rated stuff, maybe possibly X-rated. Not X, it's not like full penetration, nothing, but there is some nudity involved. All right. Not necessarily in The Widower. The Lover.
Oh.
A jealous husband devises a plan to make sure his wife can never leave him.
Wow. That sounds kind of creepy.
Yeah. So I'm into this. The next one may be one that for not for young eyes, and that is Kink Killers.
Ooh. Wow, this one's like all jam-packed, this grouping of 5.
Mm-hmm. Sammy and Hildy have a love for kinks. They invite over unsuspecting guests to indulge in their dark obsessions. Next up
I'm down with that.
I am as well. Scratched. This is another cool poster.
I know, I agree. Man, it's got some hairy, like, upper chest.
Yeah, he could be Squatch.
He could indeed.
Stuck at home during a global pandemic, boyfriends Liam and Devin have exhausted all forms of entertainment. Then Devin brings out a Ouija board.
Oh,
interesting. And the last one for today, Wasted on the Young.
Ooh.
Mateo brings his boyfriend to a dinner when a friend from work and dessert is more bittersweet than Mateo had expected. That one doesn't give us much information. But
no. But again, I'm intrigued. Now I want to know all these things.
And I actually have 5 more that's been that have been accepted, but we'll wait till next week to name them. And you still have time to send more in. Every week we'll try to name the next 5.
That's awesome. Oh, those all sound like a ton of fun. I'm looking forward to all of them.
Yeah. Several blooms. Yeah. Oh, it's weird. We didn't know this, but we both are wearing several bloom shirts.
That is too funny.
We do not coordinate our attire.
No. Usually Maru picks out my shirts for the day.
That is a cool one. That's one of my favorite. I like all the ones you've done, but that's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, I love this one too.
Yeah.
I think you'll like the new one. It's not quite inked in all the way
all
yet.
Right. Get to work.
I'm getting there, Chief. I have it right here.
Bah! All right. Nice shirt, says Bubba. Bubba. All right, Bubba. Thank you, Bubba.
Thank you, Bubba.
Oh, by the way, there is something up. It's on. I'll post a link. Let me grab it right now. There is something up that if you want to help out with Arbor Day that you can purchase right now.
Oh.
And that is the 8-bit t-shirt. And I'll post the link on the group and the main website. So, and if you get the shirt now, it's on Amazon, free shipping with Amazon. If you get the shirt now, you will get special thanks in the credits of Arbor Day.
Nice.
So it'll be the same as actually donating to the GoFundMe, which I hopefully you can do both if you can. It's not letting me save this, I think, because it's a JPEG. So I'll just present it. So here we go. We'll share a screen. It's really cool. We'll be having more shirts as well, but this is the 8-bit tee. So it's like a classic game from back in the 80s, early 90s.
I love that. Absolutely love that.
So we got Steve, we got TJ. It's me and Troy here in the middle with the killer tree. We've got Percy over here. We've got Travis on the left with his pipe. And then we got Riley on the way on the right with his staff.
Nice. Nope, I love that one.
It's pretty rocking. So
I even love like all the little stuff you have in there, like the little weird green tree guy at the bottom.
Yes. It's different than the other ones. We get Without Your Head movie productions, Demon Tree series.
Nice.
With some, I'm actually holding the Arbonomicron, the 8-bit version. A lot of little cool stuff in there. So it's priced a little higher than the normal Slasher Man shirts, but that's because the proceeds will go to help fund the movie.
Nice. Oh, that's great. I love that.
All right. Anything else from the audience here, my folks, my friends? Nice shirts. I can't be seen doing grammar like that. Oh yeah.
What's that?
He says, like when he said severed limbs, it was funny.
Oh.
Yeah. We understand, Coach. You're a good man. So, yeah, we'll be back next week. Who's on next week? I believe actually next week is Judith Blythe.
Ooh.
Is that next week? No, she's the 25th. Next week is Skip Shea. And we're going to be talking about the Shauna Shea Festival, which is happening later this month in the Boston area. I actually think it's a little more out west, but it's in the Massachusetts area. Shauna Shea is named after his daughter who died young. People don't know. And it's an independent film festival. It's over 3 or 4 days, I believe. Taking place at a bar this year, so that's fun. Everybody can go and watch movies together and partake if you like. But anyway, it's I actually have a Shauna Shea trophy up here. Very
nice.
This was from Umbilicus Desidero, 2019 Best Short Documentary. Wow, I didn't realize that's that long ago. 5 years ago.
That's crazy when you think about that.
Yeah. All right, Umbilicus Desidero. All right. So we've got a new music of the month. It is the Scream Queens. They're going to play us out, Troy.
Very nice.
Yeah. Where is the link? Bubba wants to know. That's a good question, Bubba. Let me post this right in here. If you go to Amazon and you look up Without Your Head, actually you should be able to find it, but I'll post the link in here in the chat, and I'll also post it on the main website, which may be the easiest way to find out the link to get the shirt. Sorry about that.
Oh,
my voice is
I got Warlock looking around.
My voice is a little scruffy tonight, so I can't do it too well. Pepe says stay safe and hydrated. Maybe I need to be a little more hydrated.
Hydration. It's all about that.
So until next week, this is Nasty Neal.
That would make me Terrible Troy.
And this is without
Your
head.
In my hole, in my hole, in my hole, I'm sitting in my hole. This job is a bunch of crap. I'm fed up, about to snap. I get yelled at for being late. Can't be early for something I hate. This job gives me anxiety, and there's a place I'd never be. Escape from reality. Spiders take me in their web, the words whisper in my head. Welcome to the dark, my friend. I'm in my hole. I'm in my hole. I'm in my hole again. In my hole. In my hole. In my hole. In my hole. I'm sitting in my hole. People think I'm a jerk. I think I'll call out of work. My co-workers are a bunch of dweebs. No one ever wants to play with me. Ha! This job gives me anxiety, and there's a place I'd rather be. Escape from reality. Spiders take me in their web, the words whisper in my head. Welcome to the dark, my friend. I'm in my hole. I'm in my hole. I'm in my hole again. In my hole. People laugh and call me weird, but I'm a star when I'm down here. People laugh and they call me weird, but I'm